Right, good evening. My name's Anthony Metcalf, and I apologise for the rough and ready nature of the introduction video. I think that it's ideal for what I'm about to say and what I'm about to do on this video. And if people are happy with it, if people receive it, if people connect to it, I want it to become our future anthem with the ideas and plans that I've got for us all. Okay, as I say, my name's Anthony Metcalf, and I'm 55 years old. I'm a disabled person with cerebral palsy. That means I'm paralysed all the way down my left side. I've now in recent years developed other illnesses and problems, epilepsy, diabetes problems, which has messed me up quite a bit. I'm struggling now with this. My soul, my consciousness is now struggling within this body, and I feel that the time, for several reasons, has now come in my life for me to speak and for me to give out what I regard as an important message for everybody in the whole world. And anybody who is happy enough to listen to it, receive it, and get something from it. As we all know, the date is the 11th of June now. It's just gone past midnight, 20 minutes past midnight on the 11th. As we know, Bilderburg in Watford, London, has just finished the weekend. We found out about the location of Bilderburg about 3 weeks ago, as most of you out there know, and I immediately was very, very positive and desperately wanting to go there. But due to my health problems, as I've explained, they're severely restricting me at the moment. I've been fairly ill, and this is one of the reasons why I'm now making this video for YouTube internet release, because it meant because of my illness, I've been quite poorly this week. I wasn't well enough to come down to Bilderburg, which has saddened me greatly on one level, but I now feel that it's time, just after Bilderberg, now it's time for me to speak. And I feel it's of vital importance for everybody to know my message, to listen and hear my message, and to use it and to get something from it. So here we go, right? I came here in this present body. As I've explained, I was disabled right from the beginning, right from birth, with the cerebral palsy. And it put me in an interesting position. Obviously, I had to develop as a child within, pardon me, within that situation that I was facing with my body and the circumstances. And interestingly, right from the beginning, it put me in a very interesting position, which I think has helped me greatly, and it's helped me to arrive at this stage. And what I mean by that is that I was naturally, or I won't say naturally, but because of the way society is structured, because of the way people are programmed right from the beginning to have prejudices and to discriminate, and the courage to develop and feed egos and do the superior crap on all other people, I was segregated from the mainstream of people in society. And my God, now at this end, at 55 years old, everything I've learned, everything I've seen, everything I've experienced, my God, I'm so pleased, so relieved and happy that I was put in that position. Because what it meant was, I wasn't a direct target like most of you out there have been. I wasn't a direct target to be programmed and brainwashed. They probably, most people think, and the academic people have been programmed to think, that people like myself don't have anything to offer either way. And so I was basically left alone. I wasn't interfered with. I wasn't brainwashed as heavily as most people have been in this place, in this plane. And so I was able to think for myself, which, as many of you out there know, is so vital to basically your sanity, the purity of your soul, your development as you grow. So I had a head start on most people there, even though physically my body was quite knackered even then. So I looked around, I started to observe, because my head wasn't being filled with programmed crap. This elite group have structured this system to brainwash and program people, and to strip them of their connection, let alone with the source, with themselves, with humanity or anything. And I was able to keep that almost in secret, almost as a private thing. So I grew up in that state, in that situation, and from a very young age, from single figures, I looked around at this place and I knew that there was something seriously wrong. The more that I heard from the propaganda as I grew older into my teens, the more I observed what was going on, what these people were saying, how they were affecting people, how they were programming them, deceiving them, conning them. I started to see all that, and right through my years, from teens, 20s, 30s, I started to really get my head round what these people were really getting up to, who they were, and how it was affecting everybody. And I realised more and more how evil and how negative these people and the force that is behind it, or them, really is, and how much it was latching onto our world, and how much it was interfering with everything here, especially us. So then I started to do research. Like David Icke said, I've said it in my own way for many years, I started picking up the pieces of the jigsaw. David refers to it as the dots, the spots. I've also explained it to people as being the pieces. You find these little pieces in everywhere that you look. You must be aware of everything around you. You must take all the information in on a neutral level, and then you've got to search and investigate it with your intellect, with your mind, with your consciousness, and you've got to feel it with your soul and your heart. And if it's right, your heart and your soul will tell you. If it's wrong, your heart and your soul will tell you as well. You will feel it without a doubt. And so I looked into all these areas, and I started to pick up all the pieces, or many of the pieces, for this huge jigsaw. And I started to put these pieces into forming it into a jigsaw picture on my wall, in my mind. And the more these pieces are put in, the more of the whole picture that I started to see. And like David has explained in his talks and his books over the many years through his experiences now, you then start to see the picture. And it's even though it's a vast thing that's going on here, because in the sense our world is big in many ways, there's many people here, 7 billion now. Even though it appears, or you would think it's very complicated, it's because of what we are. We are the source. The source is us. So we're capable of taking it all in a very straightforward manner when we look at the picture properly. So I was able to see the picture in similar way to David and other people have. I remember talking to David in 1999, and I give him some information, some documents, some audio interviews. Some of it was connecting and relating to Terence McKenna. You can look up his information and background on the internet. The poor soul, he died in 2000, and he was one of the most intelligent, perceptive men or souls that I have come across on this planet in my whole life. And it was very, very sad. He died of a brain tumour at the end of 1999. In fact, a few months after I gave David this information, what I said to David was I made him aware of the compounds DMT, dimethyltryptamine, and the ayahuasca. And what I told David is, what I'd realised is that he'd already been talking in some of his books in the 90s about the different dimensional levels. And what came to me and what I realised through experimentation and adventures and searching, I realised this DMT and the ayahuasca, and there's probably other compounds that can do it as well, was basically opening up our third eye, which is here, which is also referred to as the pineal gland. It's within us all, and David will probably be able to explain more about this than I can now, but somehow it opens us up, and this pineal gland within the human body is definitely, it's a direct route and method of us being able to, our consciousness and soul, being able to connect up with the source, which, if you want another word, another description, is basically God. And basically David is right. What we have here is basically like a matrix type world that has been created, gate crash first, hijacked by this group and this force, and they've restructured it to how it is now. And David's latest work, where he's talking about the archons, one of the names for these entities, there's other names that David has explained on his Wembley video. The archons, which are these entities, basically I agree with him. What they're definitely doing is they're structuring and moulding this world, this matrix that they've structured the way it is now. They're trying to get it more and more like their natural place, which, believe me, you look around at how negative and how basically, pardon me French, how fucked up this place is, how dull, how dark, how negative, how destructive, how screwed up, confused. It's a representation of their world. So what does that say about them and the force that they're controlled by? Not a great deal, just extremely fucked up and negative. Now, I agree with David, it is looking more and more like they're trying to create this, our world, more into a place that is more suitable to them, for them. They're more comfortable with it, which obviously, as we all know, on every level, it's disastrous for us. It's unacceptable. So basically, we've arrived at the situation now. We've arrived at the situation now, whereas after just Bilderburg is finished, for many years, people like David Icke, Alex Jones, myself, and others have been saying to many people that this group really does exist. This is how they're basically made, how they function, what they're about, and one of the methods is the meeting of this Bilderberg meeting, where they use the puppets that are above the so-called presidential prime minister levels, who are just middle range puppets in their system of command and obey, and these other people meet. As you know now, you've heard some of the names, you've seen some of them approached by the mega Luke, the awesome Luke Radowski from New York. Incredible. I'll say it now for you, Luke, and for everybody else. You're an incredible guy. Sometimes you've virtually brought me to tears by your humanity and your strength and your courage in approaching these people and attacking them head on, which, as you know, they're certainly not used to it, or they haven't had much of it from many other humans on this planet for if ever, for a long time. And basically you've demonstrated when these people or these things are tackled and approached by us, who are a direct part of the main source, pure positive love, like David says. Just lost my thread, but yeah, pure positive love. When we approach them with that, they crumble. These people, they put on this image that they're all powerful, all evil, all strong, but when they're approached directly and tackled directly by any of us who have the courage, which Luke does, he's demonstrated to the whole world now how weak these so-called people and things really are when they're tackled head on. And so I'm going to get to the main part of my message now. David Icke, for example, he has if he's asked the vital question, some very brave and honest and intelligent people have asked him this question a few times now. Alex Jones has been asked this on many occasions now. Okay, you've made your point. So what do we do about this? How do we deal with them? How do we stop them? And David's view is that it's all about us becoming aware of who we are, and then we just switch on, and then basically they have not got a chance, etc., etc. But my personal view, after I've observed people and the present state they're in, after many years of observing them through my life, my personal opinion is that they're too programmed. Most people are too programmed, they're too brainwashed, they're too traumatized, they're too confused. Because of all this, it's made them unstable and insecure and fearful, because as it's been explained by David and Alex, that one of the main techniques of this group and this force is to keep the human race in a constant state of fear. David's right, it is to generate the negative energy that they feed off. They love it, right? So we've got to get out of that state of fear. We've got to stop fearing any of this. Because if you want an example of what these creeps are about when they're tackled head on, like Luke has, you just watch his videos and you will see. And you should be able to realise they're not as strong or as powerful as the propaganda, the message they try and brainwash people into believing. So David basically says that a non-compliance thing, okay, I agree. If we start non-complying on many levels, to the degree that we don't do any work for them anymore, we withdraw from all sorts of the cogs of their machine, it will seriously disrupt society and their system. But the problem is, this is where I differ with David. They're still there. They are still there. They're not going to go away straight away. The system might be greatly disrupted. My hunch is it will probably turn more and more nasty through desperation, because they're losing the grip on the control of the situation on everybody and the system itself. My view is that it's up to us all to first of all get together. We've got to start communicating with each other, and get together so we can connect on all our levels, and then start generating the positive energy. Which, excuse me, I'll just move a bit, my back's sore. The positive energy, because this was done to a superb degree at Bilderburg at the weekend, and most people who were there will confirm that they felt an amazing positive generation of energy, which another word that's been used for many years to describe this without people really understanding is the atmosphere. But that's basically what it is. It's the generation of the energy between our souls, because that's what everything is, the souls, everything. And once it's generated at the right frequency, as David explains, it's then passed around. I will tell you now, I've been in there or out there, how you want to describe it. I've been outside of this matrix, right? And I will tell you now, I've connected directly with the source. And what the source does, because it's you and we're it knows everything. It understands your level, it understands how you really feel, how you understand things at your level at that stage, and it connects with you in the way that you recognise. You will know when it's connecting with you, and it's so powerful, it's just incredible. So you feel this high generation. It's like a loop, it's like a flow, and what it does, you give this source the energy you love, and it reciprocates, it gives you it back, and man, it's powerful, it's incredible. Also, you have the understanding of who you are, what the source is. You realise it's everything, you realise that everything's eternal, and it's just energy that's constantly flowing and changing everything. So I've been through that experience, and I brought that to David's attention regarding the DMT and the ayahuasca in 1999. At first, it's quite funny, because at first he thought I was talking about something like Class A drugs, and he politely dismissed what I was trying to explain to him, or offer, the information I was trying to offer to him at the time, because he had this misunderstanding. But I said, just take a few more minutes, David, listen to me carefully, I'll explain. And he listened, he started to understand, he realised that these things were nothing to do with Class A drug rubbish, and he took the information, and then within 3 or 4 years, he, as people who know his experiences and background well, will know that he went to Brazil and he experienced what I told him he would experience through using the ayahuasca with the tribespeople in Brazil. And then he ended up writing the book about this, which is called Children and the Matrix. And that was done in about 2003, 2004. Right, okay, now I'll get back to how I really feel that the time really has come. As far as I'm concerned, it's many years overdue, this. But it's time now. There's no hiding, there's no denying anymore, there's no more using the brainwash program of dismissing people as conspiracy theorists, so that you can throw something that frightens you, confuses you, or intimidates you into the bin. You can't do that now, because the information is there through people like David Icke, his books and his talks. Alan Watt, he has a site on the internet as well. He has great knowledge of these sort of subjects, and Alex, as you know, is the nuts and bolts man at the political level. He's like a heavy-duty mechanic with a massive wrench, you know, which basically is his bullhorn, but as it is a wrench as well, right? So you can get a lot of information from Alex. But the thing is, I think we've now proved our people that have the same sort of feelings and views as people like myself, these wonderful people who had the guts and the drive and the will and the desire to go down to Bilderburg and to contribute in raising the energy to a high positive level there, and to assist in exposing these scumbags who were scheming and colluding in the hotel. Now this can't be denied now. Even the propaganda media has now had to admit they're trying to make a light-hearted joke of it, but it's impossible, of course, because we've got some of the major players of the world that have gone in there at that weekend in secret, including Cameron, the Clintons, the very, very ugly, nasty and negative Henry Kissinger, David's favourite, sarcastically said, Peter Mandelson, the Prince of Darkness. He's been there. Many of the leading banders, etc., etc. Some of the main players on the internet, which is a serious alarm bell. Believe me, we've got to start moving quick here, because they're definitely going to make major moves on the internet, because the internet is, it's given most of us around the world who are willing to do it or able to do it, connect almost instantly, spread our information all over, and basically, in my opinion, it's done this so-called elite group and force more damage than has been done to it and its system in human history. So they're desperate to shut down the internet. They're desperate to try and cut this off. It's one of the reasons why they've been spying on just about everybody. Even that's come out now. So that's a confirmation for people of what these people, these creeps are really doing, and the reasons that they're doing it for. And it's got to stop. All of this has to stop now. It is time to stop this. We have the ability, we have the power to do it. I want to give you an image, a vision that I had many years ago. I want to share it with you, and I think you'll find it extremely important and vivid once you have this vision and image in your own minds, your own consciousness. And what that was, I realised this about 20 years ago, once I started learning about this group and realised there was a force manipulating things, the wars, the finances. I could go on forever. But I realised then that they were doing this, and it was being manipulated. And basically, the time has come for us now to stop this. And my view is that we all need to get together as soon as possible. One example that has come to me since the Bilderburg meeting at the weekend is that I think it's time to turn the tables on them at Bilderburg level alone. This is just one example of how we can gather together, turn the tables on them. Why not all the people in the different countries of the world? Why not all of us get together, start getting together, have these organised gatherings, and we can turn the tables on them? We will do a Bilderberg on them. That will be our Bilderberg gathering. And what we would do with these gatherings, we've got a prototype already. we've already had the first one, which was Bilderburg the other day, when there's 3 or 4, 5,000 people there in the field on the Saturday. What we need to do is gather like that again, and even in greater numbers, build. Then connect, transmit the energy, transmit that wonderful, positive, powerful love energy, so that we can all take great pleasure, great happiness and great joy in giving and receiving that amongst each other. But at the same time, we can then start to say, we know what the source of most of the world's and people's problems are now. We know who they are, or many people can be directed and focused on who they are, where to go, and I've views now on methods of how to stop them and to deal with them. And the time has come now to do this. We can gather together in these ways. We could maybe start the first gathering again in England or in America. And we gather together, and then we start to scheme amongst each other. We then, through the different countries' gatherings and then a global connection, we then start to devise and figure out ways and design and structure ways and methods of how to stop these creeps, and then how to dismantle the system they've constructed, and then build the world that benefits us all, except them of course, but the rest of us, it benefits the other 7 billion people in the world. And that's what we all work together to work to and work to create. But what we need to do is we need to stop them first, and then to deconstruct the system that they've built that's causing so much pain and misery for most of us here. We now know some of the main players, or a lot of the main players in the system, a lot of the puppets, the lackeys, etc. Well, my view is that we get together in great numbers, we discuss things, we figure out what we're going to do, and then we have to go and arrest all these people to begin with. We citizens arrest them all over the world, everywhere. The politicians, the bankers, the media people. Now then, the only real force stroke defence that these creeps have is the police forces, the military, and that's it. And guess where most of them people come from? There are people, they are like us. So then it's our job, especially the relatives and the friends of these people, to speak to all these people the world over and explain to them, tell them what we've all decided, and that we want them to be with us and we don't want them to be against us. It is explained to everybody as quickly as possible who these people are and why we want to arrest them. We arrest them. It will cause quite a bit of disruption in the so-called system of the world. We arrest them, we investigate them. Undoubtedly so, many of them will be guilty of all sorts of crimes, some of them guilty of incredibly evil, destructive crimes, because we know at the top level of this structure, we know that they're probably the worst psychopaths we've had on this planet. So they need to be arrested, investigated, and then dutifully punished. And that's what we need to do the world over. The key is to get the police and the military people with us. Once we achieve that, they have nothing. They're finished. They're finished within a matter of months, if not the space of a few years. It's over for them. They've got no means of hurting us anymore, and we just lock them up, and then we decide how to punish them and deal with them for the rest of their so-called lives in their bodies. And then it doesn't just stop there. My view is that without any doubt, we have got to then deconstruct that system that they've built. We remove all the banks as they presently are. We have to remove the currencies. We scrap them. We can do this in maybe 1 or 2 countries to start with, and then it will teach the rest of the world the way the people are going and how they're dealing with it. And what that will do on the financial levels, it will instantly make these people, render them poor, worthless financially. So it will neutralise all the wealth that most of them are stolen and manipulated through their lives and through their families and generations' lives. That will wipe out any value there, so they will be punished on that level, and it will render them useless on them levels. That must be done. Money, it's their system, it's their thing, and look how much pain and destruction and manipulation and horror that it's brought to us all through the many hundreds and thousands of years probably on the earth. It has got to go. I haven't come across very many people, if anyone, that's pointed this out in such clear, stark terms. But the money will have to be shut down and removed. People will then obviously think, oh my God, what do we do then? We can't buy anything, we can't do this, we can't do that. Okay, this is going to be painful, but if we all work together, we work out ways of how to help each other, how to house each other, how to clothe each other. We all do it for each other. We don't need fucking money. We don't need it. It's got to be removed. It's a key factor in this. Right? It's a key factor. So that is an important stage. The next stage is that their structures, their buildings will have to be dismantled. There is a lot, if you look at David Icke stuff, there's a lot of symbology in the buildings, and what it represents negative energy. Yeah, it puts you in a certain state of mind, a certain state of energy, and that's what it's designed to do. And then it feeds from you, like David Icke has explained here. Now, all that has got to go. We've got to take all that away. We've got to remove it the world over. All that has got to go. So the thing is, I'll be direct and stark with you all. It's time to grow up. I'm not accusing the people being in a child mode, because everybody's chosen to be that way. But they've been brainwashed and programmed and processed by them and this system to be that way and to live that way. It is time to grow up. And because if we don't do these things that I've said, this will get stronger. It will get to the stage where they will implant chips into us, and it will have, like David has said, it will have a two-way control factor with it. It will send them information, and they'll be able to send stuff crap to you. So it'll be a direct control thing, and you know it's so painfully obvious that if we end up in a situation where they remove the cash, they turn this to an electronic system. It's painfully obvious that if it's running off an electronic number system that's working on the chip that's implanted in you, if they're not happy with you, they don't like what you've done, they don't like what you've said, or you're not part of the club with them, they can zero that figure. And if we're still operating in a financial system where you will need these units, stroke money, to buy things, food, etc., to live, to exist here, they can zero it on the card, and there's not a damn thing any of us will be able to do about it. So just on that level alone, imagine the implications, the position that will put you and everybody else in. We cannot allow them to get to that stage and do that to us. This is another reason why the money system has to go. We've got to grow up, we've got to take on the biggest bully this planet has ever known. We've got to face up to it, we've got to stop it, we've got to remove it. Then we deconstruct the hell that they're building here, or they've built here. And that's the situation we're in. And I know with all my soul, I know with all my heart, and I can convey from the source that this will have to be done. Otherwise, they really will end up creating, it's been debated for many years now what hell really is. And I think we're heading for it. We're heading for a fully constructed hell, which will be here if we allow these morons and psychopaths to carry on the way they are. One thing I lost track on before, and it's very important that I need to explain. Like I say, many years ago when I've started to look at the different problems in the world, like the wars, the starvation, the elitism, the diseases, etc. Most people think, rightfully, understandably, in a confused, restricted state, they think that they're all random things that aren't connected, and it's just the chaos thing, which is nonsense, because once you do the research and you start to see this group for what they really are, you realise that they're responsible for most of these problems. So therefore, guess what? That means that if we stop them, remove them, deal with them, deconstruct this hideous system they're building, it means all them problems are gone. All that there will be left after that is to clean up the mess that has been made. But the wars, the starvation to begin with, will be literally a thing of the past. It will go virtually instantly, and then we can start to look after everybody, which everybody rightfully deserves a chance of. I'm starting to get a bit tired now, so I'm going to sign off with this video, and I will be back very soon with video number 2, and I'll have more to say. So good night everybody.